Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am ManBearPig97 and today we are back with another episode of Day Our Survival. We're starting off, as you can see, we are in the town of Loki. Let's go ahead and pick up our daily quest. Let's see, create 3 cloth, search 5 locations in any city, or cook some ukah? A dish of ukah? I'm not sure what that is, but I would rather have the pickled vegetables. They will be much more handy to me. Cloth open, let's make 1, 2, and 3. And there's my pickled vegetables. Quick, easy quest each day that you can do just to be able to get a little something extra. I always recommend that if you have one of the options to collect... Oh, I need to... Oh, no, I can't. Is that the best I've got? Yes, it is. I have a filter for a stronger one, but I don't have... Oh, well. But what I was going to say is anytime you have a daily quest with the option to make some coins, always make the coins. Get all, well, I say coins, they're actually golden bottle caps, but I mean, what's the coins, caps, it's all the in-store or in-game currency. And that is one of the best things that I would recommend getting because that will allow you to get just about anything that you need in a pinch. You can get the survival kit. Well, the survival kit's 99 cents, but you can see there's several different things. Batteries for flashlights, varied different boxes, chemistry set, toolbox, simple component box, which as you can see, I mean, you get a large variety of various things. I mean, there's where you can actually purchase some in-game currency caps. You can get experience boosts for, a certain amount of time. There's equipment. If you need a new gas mask, a stronger one, there's your motorcycle, a really good suit of armor, firearms, all kinds of ammunition and bombs. I mean, you name it. Fuel, you need fuel, plenty. You can purchase it all from the store if you so choose. But I am trying to spend as little as possible. So again, in this playthrough, we are not going to be searching every single house and every single location. We will search the more important areas, like the hospital that I'm in right now, for instance. That's, more important than, let's say, the house right there. Because there's not going to be much found. I mean, you might find something reasonable, but odds are, and look, see, it's wanting me to bust through the rubble, of course. And right now we are needing to eat something and drink and get our radiation down because we are up to 50 rads. My goodness. Let's get us a sip of that to get rid of them. And let's dig it out. See? Useful items, but not absolutely necessary. You're not going to live, you won't die without it. It's handy, yeah. I mean, look what we got. We got a little bit of coffee, a can, and 6 papers. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we don't loot every single house location, or apartments as those are, if you will. But now, like the tailor shop, oh, absolutely. Even though I didn't get it, I was hoping to get thread, because thread is an extremely useful item. Now, granted, if you don't have any thread and you need thread to repair, because your backpack, your armor, everything has a durability that does run out over time. Just like anything in the real world in life, if you use something, you can expect it to eventually run out. Things don't last forever. That being said, your clothes and your carry bag require a needle and thread to sew to fix. But what you can do is if you don't have any thread and you have a needle and your equipment is about to break, one thing you can do if you have rope is untwist said rope to make thread. But you're going to need some rope at some point in time too, I'm sure, so it's good to go ahead and just try to hang on to it as best as you can. If you can. Sometimes this game can be a little tricky. It's all about strategy. It is a strategy game. The fights, the play style, everything is strategy. Strategy, strategy, strategy. I was hoping I could shoot past my bird. But I cannot shoot past said raven. And the good thing about the raven is since it flies, obstacles are not a problem for it. As you can see, it just flew right over that wall like it wasn't even there. Obstacles are non-existent to it, which is a good thing. Hello. Okay, so let's do crossbow range, because I do like the crossbow, even though it takes 2 action points to fire. You can eventually, with the right perks, get it to where it's going to take less, and you can also get to where you are starting out with more perks. You can hold more perk or action points at one time with perks. I'm sorry, not perks, but action points. The action points that you have in battle. You start out with a very small amount, but once you start to level up and start to get your perks set, so to speak, you will start to notice that you will be able to like I just got a perk that is going to make it so I gain 2 action points every turn instead of just 1. So that way I can be able to fire that crossbow at every turn instead of having to wait 2 turns to fire at one time. And then eventually I'll get it to where I have, right now I can hold a maximum of 4 action points. But you can get it to where your maximum cap of action points during a battle is increased, and then you can start making it to where you have even more action points when you start the match or between. I mean, I've got another character online where as soon as I go into a battle, I start out with like 5 or 6 action points and I gain 3 every turn. And then it also takes a lot less action points to use my weapons. And then it also doesn't take any action points for me to move my spaces that I take in my match, which is a huge benefit. If you can completely negate the loss of action points from movement, that is a game changer in itself. So we are going to extinguish that. What has got me so over encumbered? Well, the bones, for one thing, we don't need those. Not now, anyways. I mean, at some point in time, they are handy, but we don't need them absolutely right now. We've got 141 rags. That might have something to do with part of it. See, I'm down to 74% now. That's why I say I am the world's worst about inventory management. And I will give you that information and just I'll bust myself out right off the bat. I suck at inventory management. You will see me all the time having to stop what I'm doing because I picked some little minute nothing up and it somehow overcumbered me because I was right there at the limit for too dang long. Can't help that. I'm sorry. Just get that out there right off the bat. I suck at inventory management. Okay, so I just learned something new. So apparently rawhide can now spoil. I'm not going to go looting this whole town out. I just wanted to see if there was anything specifically worth searching. Like that pharmacy. Not down there. The pharmacy. I also do need some more food. So I'm not going to do it during the stream or during the video because, I mean, y'all don't want to see me doing a bunch of, yeah, there's a new enemy for us to fight, a wolf. He does 24 to 40 damage per turn, or per attack. We are just going to chill. Ooh, hey, you don't do that, son. Still can't hit him from here. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Hit him with a couple poison arrows. That way he should be dealt with. And notice how I have so much more range with that bow and arrow, or that crossbow, compared to the pistol. A lot more range. Ooh, hello. We'll take all that, and we will butcher him. Take that. And I guess I should go ahead and drop, because I screwed up and did not realize that the rawhide will spoil. Did it just disappear? I guess so. Okay. Usually when something spoils, it'll turn into like a spoil meat in your inventory, but apparently not. I am also extremely radiated right now, so we will take that to help with that. They have buffed the radiation quite substantially. So I'm kind of curious as to what it's going to be, because these little bitty towns that I'm coming up to right now are nothing compared to once you get down near one of the actual blast zones around like Leningrad and Moscow and Berlin. Those towns are extremely radioactive. Or at least they were, so I can only imagine how they are now, with how these towns that I'm just now working on coming to are as radioactive as they are. I'm afraid to know what the other ones are going to be like once I get down there. But hey, that's in the journey. That's all in the fun. I will just definitely have to monitor my radiation a lot more carefully once I start to get further into it. Now we are arriving at Kim, or Kim, not sure. Like I say, to those of you who understand Russian and can speak Russian fluently, please forgive me if I am butchering these names. Hello, police station. Got a few different. I might as well just go ahead and search this town out. Yeah, see, bicycle parts, maybe? Nope. Nope, but I do need the food. Now, I don't know if they brought it back. I kind of find it highly likely that they would. Whoops, I can just do it this way. But used to, whenever you would bury a body, it would give you a little bit of survival XP. But that was back in the day when XP was divided up into multiple different sections, so to speak. Like you had your survival trait, there was different traits. Now it's just your character's leveling in general. So it's a little more simplistic, so to speak. And my creature is wounded. I really don't feel like fighting this guy by myself without any, like... Screw it. No. He'll hit me with the next turn, he will give me lacerations, and I will be fighting to ride my bike for quite some time after that. So I'm not even going to chance it. Not even going to chance it. How am I looking on fuel? I got 2.6, I'm good. A busted pistol. I keep wanting to do that. You don't have to go to the menu and select your item anymore. You can just hit that little button there, right here, to allow you to select the light source. Used to, they didn't have that. Now, I would recommend every time you finish looting a place, go ahead and shut the thing off. Remove your torch, so to speak, before moving on. Because the torches run out in this game so quick. And I say that because even walking from here to there, that little bit of a torch that you would have lost from that little bit of a distance might have made, might have been what you needed to be able to Do the last one, the next location. Police officer's diary, October 3rd, 1984. The phone won't stop ringing, but nobody has time to answer. There are only 5 left in the department, and most of them are losing their minds. I'm not sure that I'll hold on to my sanity or my life. This really is the apocalypse. Today our people rioted again. They are becoming crazier by the day. Broken shop windows and wrecked cars are everywhere. Looters are running rampant. The situation is getting messier every day, and there's no way we can stop it now. All our requests for help from other departments have been ignored. I'm afraid the situation is similar in neighboring towns. Let's see, it was just a play of the light, but at least I found a police officer's diary. He was on the verge of a nervous breakdown, judging by the uneven handwriting. Poor guy. And now I have my first reference to an unknown virus. It seems like an epidemic broke out everywhere in October, and bombs were dropped on the town in November. I'm getting close to the truth. I have to keep moving while I'm able to. I still hope to find people. Now we are headed to Belomorsk. And this is going to be one of the first, well, you'll see it. We're not that far, and we're only at 16 minutes, so we will make it. Let's see, don't want to forget that, kill that. Alrighty then. Now let's head to this garage and see what we've got there. A fishing rod, hello. That's handy. And those are bicycle parts, lucky me. Let's see, we're going to hotkey that here. Ho ho hum. Drop that, because we don't want that. Come on now, Bubba. Oh, I don't have enough energy. Say it ain't so. That's a useful one. Hit chance, I will take that, because how often have I been point blank and missed a shot? Okay, so we are going to pop one of these. And be careful taking the 2 medications. There's the Lidacide 34, and then the Medicaine, which is basically, I guess, like freaking crack pills. I'm not sure. But I will say, do not, and I repeat, do not get carried away with that stuff, because I promise you, you will get addicted to that crap so quick in this game, it is not even funny. And then next thing you know, you're having the negative effects from being addicted. It'll be insomnia that you'll end up getting. And then you can also get addicted to it, which will cause you to start losing your energy, your food, and your hunger and thirst will start to deplete faster along with your energy, with the addiction and the insomnia. It's no bueno. Not at all. But that's with anything. If you drink an alcoholic beverage like the vodka or something, smoke a cigarette, you only want to do it like once, no more than twice, back to back. Give a little bit of time in between, a step or two, like, take a couple steps and then take the other one. But don't do them immediately back to back. Give a little bit of time in between each dose. See, look, there's 10 caps. They add up. We are already up to 358. Not bad. Whoa, hey, what was that? Looky here, they've got a nice little special offer for a motorized cart, 25 gallon or 25 kilograms or whatever of fuel. Looks like there's a gas mask, a clean cooking pot, and 350 coins for only $4.99. So they do offer some decent little offers occasionally. They're not terrible by any means. Man, they're going to run down my equipment. for a little bit of nothing. I didn't even get the condensed milk like I was hoping for, because that's some of the best stuff. You can eat the can of condensed milk right off like it is and get 75 food, or 75 points to your hunger, if you will. Or you can cook it using, I believe, a little bit of water and a pot and a fire. And you can cook it, and it will give you a full 100% hunger. It will take your hunger up to 100, which is a huge, huge thing. Makes a big difference. That's why I needed that hit chance up, and I still missed. But granted, there is a pole right in the way, so I will say there's a good reason why I missed that time. But when you're standing like right up against them, there's nothing there. You fire your pistol and it doesn't touch them. It's like, come on. I mean, come on. See, look at that. Come on now, hit him. There we go. But I left him with just enough health. Just enough health. Meanwhile, got the Raven over here doing everything it can, just slowly fighting on this rat by itself. And I'll give it credit, it's doing a bang-up job. It is doing a bang-up job. You go, little guy. Tear him up. Make that boy regret ever even messing with you. Tell you what, Clive. Alright. And boom goes the dynamite. Still don't really have quite enough that I want to use it up yet. If I had more healing salve than that, it'd be different, but I've only got 3, and odds are I'm probably going to need it. Those 3 will not last long, and they do come in handy. You get into a fight with something that's a little too tough for you, he tears you a new one and you have very little health left, because I have had this happen. You can get a perk called Lucky Break, I believe it is, where you should have died, you had no health left, but you got lucky, and it left you with 1 point of health left. Just 1. So you get out of the battle. At this point, you probably have lacerations and various things like that. Now, each of those, when you go to heal yourself up, is going to take a tiny bit of damage from you. So if you're at 1 point of health, and you're needing to bandage yourself, or whatever the case may be, maybe cauterize it, whatever it's telling you to do, but you can't afford to sacrifice that extra point or 2 of health because that's going to kill you, what do? Because until you get, if it's a laceration or something like that, you're going to lose health until you can fix it. So even if you were to do something like wrap it in bandage where it shouldn't cause you to lose any health, you're still going to lose it. So what you will have to do is take one of those healing salves and use it to gain 20 points to your health back immediately. Use 1 or 2 of them to give you enough health to be able to do what you got to do without dying. It's very tricky, but you absolutely need them. That's why I always say don't waste them on your pets, because you are just wasting good product, good resources that you will more than likely need later on down the road. Because all you have to do is feed them. That's it. Just feed them, and they will be fine. They will heal themselves on their own, as I have demonstrated already, Now we are going to try to make it through the ship before this video ends. And this town is empty. At least there are no survivors. I noticed a large ship in the port in the distance. I might as well check it out. Yep. Now this is the first quest. We're just going to go straight to it. The first text quest, if you will, that you can die. Now, the first one we did behind the barracks or whatever in the ventilation shaft, you couldn't screw that up. But this one, if you screw up, you will die, and I will show you what I mean in just a moment. Let us go ahead and start the quest. As soon as I came close to the port, I saw it, a giant icebreaker lying on the ruined pier. The ship was listing its stern entirely in the water and the prow pointing upwards. I decided, despite the danger, to enter it and try find something, some useful items, or maybe some answers to my questions. Now keep in mind, he's Russian. I always thought the first time I played this that there was some wordplay issues that they screwed up. He's Russian. He's not going to have everything perfect. So the whole and try find, you would think they should say try to find, but maybe some Russians don't know all of their English grammar. No one's perfect. I even screw this stuff up, so don't judge me. Let's go up onto the deck. The holes in the ship's hull left me in no doubt. The stern was completely flooded. I went around the deck, picking my way across the wet flooring. If I slip and end up in the water, I'm going to have a hell of a time getting out again. I can go up onto the ship's bridge, look around the cabins on the foredeck, or go down into the bows of the main deck. The lower decks were blocked off by falling grillage in the crash, and the stern is underwater. Let's first go onto the bridge. The bridge is home to the con room, the radio room, the pilot room, the generator room, and a small hangar and a storeroom. There doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary here, but in the corner of the con room, a first aid kit has been turned upside down, and its contents, packs of pills, small bottles, and salve, are scattered all around. A hammer and chisel are lying next to the storeroom, as though somebody tried and failed to break in. Let's carefully look around the deck house. I looked over the room thoroughly. I spotted a lot of barely visible stains on the floor and flattened clumps of black cotton wadding. There was a dirty bandage on the control panel. Strange. A detailed deck plan of the icebreaker was fixed to the aft wall. The frame's glass had been smashed, and the floor below the frame was sprinkled with small shards. Let's leave the deck house. Now let's examine the door to the storeroom. The security lock on the storeroom looks very robust. It would be stupid to try to chisel it off. And the door is well made. Whoever tried to break in spent quite a long time trying. There are deep scratches and nicks in the surface. Looks like somebody came at it with an axe. Move away from the door. Now let's go down to the foredeck. Most of the rooms on the foredeck are unlocked, but there is nothing of interest inside, except in the wardroom. I saw a dead body lying across the passageway, and the door to the boiler room had been pulled off its hinges. Let's go into the wardroom. There are skeletons here, lots of them, more than a dozen. Almost all of them are wearing sailors' uniforms. There are cartridge cases, and rusty knives on the floor. What happened here? Who killed these people? Got 11 human skeletons, 10 pistol shells, 8 revolver shells, and 2 knives. Examine the wardroom more closely. One skeleton stood out from the rest, firstly because the scraps of clothing revealed that this was a senior officer, probably the captain, and secondly because he didn't have a head. Well, it had a head, but whoever had cut it off had placed it under the captain's arm and even put the captain's hat on it. What a beautiful sentiment. Something gleamed a couple paces away from the body, a tiny key. Pick up the key and leave the wardroom. Now let's go down to the main deck. In the icebreaker's bow, there was a spacious bunk room and infirmary. After that, there was a pharmacy, a canteen, and a laundry, but the water was above my ankles there. There was no point moving closer to the ship's stern. The water level was up to the ceiling. Go into the bunk rooms. In the bunk room, I came across 2 dead sailors. One was doubled over on the floor, and the other was sitting with his head resting against a bed. I spotted a notebook and pencil on the bed. The sailor had drawn something before he died. It looked like a butterfly. I flicked back through the book and saw the messy lines of diary entries. The paper was damp, but most of the pages were stuck together. But I was able to read certain pieces of the text. Read. September 22nd, 1984. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. When the cap said that no one was leaving the ship and ordered us to stay down, Fyodor, what should we call him, Frodo? Stuck him with a knife. And then those bastards started shooting. They had knives and guns, and we had nothing. Me and Ramil ran. He hid in the infirmary. We hid in the infirmary. They were hardly going to look for us among the dead bodies. I was terrified. I'm afraid to even think about what Fyodor might have done to the poor captain. Read more. They started the engine. The ship is moving. What the hell's going on? The icebreaker ran into a pier of some kind. It's a miracle we survived the crash. Now I get it. Belomorsk. Those scumbags want to disembark. Turn the page. October 6th, 1984. It's been 2 weeks since they left. They didn't leave us any food or water. We've been lying in the bunk room for days on end waiting for someone to come. I keep thinking I can hear voices. The captain, the first mate, the senior mechanic. Their bodies, unburied, decaying all around us. A ship of the dead. Close the notebook. Some things are becoming clear. At least I now know how this story ended. But how did it start? Why did the captain forbid anyone to leave the ship? Why did Fyodor and the others mutiny? Where did the bodies in the infirmary come from? I think the ship's log will help me answer some of these questions. It'll either be in the deck house or in the captain's cabin, but the icebreaker is vast. I won't be able to find the captain's cabin without a deck plan of the ship. Leave the bunk room. Now I thought... Hold on. Into the boiler room? The boiler room was very small. It was probably a backup or auxiliary one, but there was a dead body in here too. Judging by the skeleton size and clothes, it belonged to a large, broad-shouldered man, probably an engineer or a mechanic on the boat. And given the number of holes in the boiler behind him, a whole shower of bullets had unleashed on the dead guy. In his pants pockets, I found matches, small change, and a crumpled piece of paper with the 4-digit code on it. Got a skeleton, pistol shells, 8 of them, a handgun, and matches. Take the paper with the code and leave the boiler room. Now we're going to the security lock. Okay, so we've read that. Let's enter the code from the body in the boiler room. The storeroom contained nothing that warranted taking a chisel to the lock or taking an axe to the door. There were only empty shelves and empty bottles, or boxes. To be fair, there was a dusty scuba set on a special stand. The gauge showed that there was some oxygen left in the tank. An underwater flashlight was attached to the suit by a cord. It worked, but the light was extremely faint. Take the scuba set and leave the storeroom. Now we are going to find the captain's cabin. The ship's deck plan had darkened with age, and some of the labels were difficult to make out. To make matters worse, there was virtually no light coming through the room's broken window. I spent almost a quarter of an hour staring at the blurred contour. If the ship's plan is correct, then the captain's cabin is located in the submerged aft part of the main deck between the accounts office and the library, third door from the end on the port side. So go down to the main deck, put on the scuba set, and turn on the flashlight. I checked the oxygen level in the tank again, less than a third left. Looks like I'll only get one shot. If I don't find the captain's cabin, I'll have to come back empty-handed. I swam along the inky black corridor to the very end, shining the dull, wavery light on the underwater flashlight on the door signs. Found it, the captain's cabin. It turned out that the water was only waist deep inside the cabin, an air pocket. There was a safe on the table. I pulled off my breathing apparatus and opened the safe with the key I'd found in the wardroom. That's why you want to make sure you do this in the right order. Inside was a revolver, a sheaf of paper, and on that, the thing I'd been searching for. Got a Nagant revolver, which is a pretty decent little revolver, and 7 rounds of ammo. Read the ship's log. September 12th, 1984. The ship has turned into a living hell. 30 bodies. The cold storage is full. Where will we put the new ones? Half the crew are running a fever. We've quarantined them as best as we can. In the infirmary, the workshop, in the officers' cabins. The radio operator said that Arkhangelsk port was closed. Apparently, there's been some kind of disturbance in the city. The crew were furious. I thought it was going to be mutiny. We'll try to reach Belomorsk. Read more. September 18th. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I don't know what to do. Belomorsk have told us we can't disembark. They've promised to send doctors, but they haven't materialized. Who would want to come onto a plague ship and then spread the disease to the rest of the city? Men are dying by the dozen. Only myself, Fyodor, the bosun, and Orlenko, the senior mechanic, are left on the officer corpse. Officer corpse. There's a pile of bodies in the infirmary, and no one can bring themselves to burn them. The men have lost their heads, there's unrest, insubordination. It's all gone to hell. I don't know what to do. Read more. This morning, Fyodor came to me. He'd clearly been drinking, and he started demanding that I give them boats to go ashore. I refused. We have no right to subject the city to the risk of infection. Fyodor went ballistic, making threats. I had to put him in isolation. He'll sober up and realize he was wrong. Read more. There was nothing after that, just the next date, September 22nd. It all adds up. September 22nd, according to the sailor's diary, was the day Fyodor and his pals attacked the rest of the crew and cut off the captain's head. Then they abandoned the icebreaker, breaking the epidemic to Belomorsk. What happened to them after that? I don't think I'll ever find that out. The mystery has been solved. There's no reason for me to stay on this ghost ship any longer. Go back to the bow and disembark. And we got to level up. Crossbow damage. I'm unlikely to find anything new in Belomorsk. I need to head straight to Leningrad. I'll stop off at Petrozavodsk on the way, although I doubt I'll find any survivors there. And as you can see, we've got a little bit of a distance to go. So with that, that is all the time I'm afraid that we have for today. We will pick this up in the next video. So if you like what I'm doing, hit that like, subscribe, turn on the notifications so that way you never miss out on any video. And I hope to see you again in the next episode. This is ManBearPig97 saying that I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend. We will see you next time.